and welcome children. Once again I am here to teach English language and our today's topic is idioms. What do you mean by an idiom? Idioms are short sayings in conversational English which carry a figurative meaning. In other words, you can say the actual meaning of an idiom is different from its literal meaning. An idiom has to be understood by looking beyond the words that compose it. When I say the actual meaning is different from the literal meaning, just let me explain you with the help of an example. Let's talk about the idiom apple of my eye. Now, the meaning of apple of my eye means a person who's greatly loved. The actual meaning has nothing to do with the literal meaning. It has nothing to do with the apple and its eye. And the next one, when I talk about crocodile tears. Now you start picturizing a crocodile and its tears. But the meaning has got nothing to do with the crocodile and its tears. It has got a different meaning. It means fake tears, false grief. So is it clear, children? Children, idioms appear in every language and English too has thousands of them. You must be surprised to know that there are about 25,000 idioms in English language. But don't get scared, we don't have to learn all the 25,000 now. Don't get scared because we are going to deal only with those idioms which are there in your English language book. So today I'm going to deal with some idioms. I'm going to explain you the meaning of these idioms and I'm also going to show you some examples of sentences framed with these idioms. Okay children? So before we get started, I would like you to please tell you that please concentrate while I'm teaching. Be attentive to what I speak and please look at the screen. Idioms are short sayings in the conversational English which carry a figurative meaning. This means that their actual meaning is different from the literal meaning. An idiom has to be understood by looking beyond the words that compose it. Now let's look at the first idiom, that is apple of my eye, which means a person who is greatly loved. Now please look at these examples of sentences, children. The first one, the child was the apple of his mother's eye, which means the child was greatly loved by his mother. The second sentence, I was the apple of my grandmother's eye, which means I was greatly loved by my grandmother. The third sentence, I used to be the apple of my teacher's eye until he caught me cheating on a quiz. And the last one, Joan's husband is the apple of her eye. Now just look at the second idiom, that is 11th hour, which means at the last minute. The first sentence here is, the firefighters arrived at the 11th hour to rescue the people. The second sentence, he postponed the trip at the 11th hour. That means he postponed the trip at the last minute. And the last one, he arrived there at the 11th hour, which again means he arrived there at the last minute. Now the third idiom, kick the bucket, which means to die. The first sentence here is, when the old man kicked the bucket, his property was divided among his children, which means when the old man died, his property was divided among his children. Now the second sentence is, I have decided to donate my organs when I kick the bucket, which means I have decided to donate my organs when I die. And the third sentence is, the old dog finally kicked the bucket when the winter got too harsh for him. which means the old dog died when he could not tolerate the harsh winter. Now the fourth one, that is raining cats and dogs, which means to rain very heavily. Please look at the first sentence, children. As we left for the picnic, it started to rain cats and dogs, which means as we left for the picnic, it started raining very heavily. The second sentence, it rains cats and dogs when the monsoon comes in India, which means as the monsoon comes in India, it starts raining heavily. And the third sentence, it was not safe to drive the car as it was raining cats and dogs, which means it was not safe to drive the car because it was raining heavily. Now the fifth idiom, that is to blow one's own trumpet, which means to talk boastfully about one's own abilities or accomplishments, which means that, the other meaning is to show off. Please look at these sentences, children. The first sentence, he always bores us when he starts blowing his own trumpet, which means he bores us when he starts showing off about his abilities. The second sentence, I don't think blowing your own trumpet will get you the job. And the third sentence here is, I hate people who are always blowing their own trumpet. That means I hate people who are always showing off about their abilities and accomplishments. Now the sixth idiom, children, to burn the midnight lamp, which means to work hard for long hours. Look at these sentences as I read. The first one is, he was burning the midnight oil last night to study for the examination, which means he was working very hard for long hours to study for the examination. The second sentence, the assignment was very lengthy, so he was forced to burn the midnight oil to get it done on time. So he was forced to work hard for long hours to complete the assignment as it was very lengthy. Now we have the seventh one, that is the last idiom, a piece of cake, which means an easy task. Please look at the sentences as I read out. Writing long essays is a piece of cake for the author, which means it's an easy task for an author to write long essays. The second one, don't think that this term's work will be a piece of cake. You'll have to work very hard, which means you have to work. It will not be an easy task because you have to work very hard. The third one, that is the last one, some parts of cooking are really difficult, but I found that making Maggi is a piece of cake, which means it's very easy to make Maggi, but compared to other parts of cooking. I hope, children, you have understood the meaning of these idioms. So I want you to do something in your rough copy. Write these idioms in your rough copy with their meanings and write all the sentences which I have shown you just now in your rough copy. And I also want you to write, or I want you to frame one sentence of your own with these idioms. Is it clear, children? I hope it's clear to you. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice time.